Greetings and welcome back to Life in the 1900s newspapers, where we read the actual words from old newspapers. Well, looks like the paperboy was here and dropped off our copy of the Star and Sentinel from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, dated August 12, 1903. I've read a lot of these old newspapers, and sometimes they put in the paper as news something that I'm not quite sure would have really happened. So, listen to this next article and let me know in the comments below if you think this is even possible. Dose of dynamite. A peculiar accident took place recently at Bedford, Kentucky. Some workmen were engaged in digging a pond and left several sticks of dynamite lying on the ground while they worked. A cow was grazing around and swallowed 2 sticks. The workmen noticed that the animal seemed distressed, but did not know what ailed her. Finally, the cow began running, disappearing around a hill. A few minutes later, there came a terrible explosion, and when the workmen reached the spot where the animal was last seen, there was nothing left except a few pieces of flesh. Cow ate vest and $85. While working on the Cleveland and Pittsburgh Railroad at Macedonia, Ohio recently, contractor Frank Wise hung his vest on a fence on a lot belonging to Frank Green, a farmer. In the pocket of his purse contained $85. A wandering cow of depraved appetite spied it and ate the vest and contents. But fortunately, Wise discovered her in the act. He purchased the animal from the farmer Green for $50 and sold her to a local butcher for $25. The cow was slaughtered immediately, and a search resulted in the recovery of the $85, to which was yet in such a condition that it could be redeemed. Hid 3 weeks under home. On the very brink of death by starvation, Emma Noislock, 14 years old, has been found after figuring in one of the most remarkable disappearances ever reported to the police. For 3 weeks, the girl had been hidden under her home in Hastings Street, Chicago, supplied with food by an 8-year-old sister. Meantime, the whole police force of Chicago were searching for her. She was only found after she had become nearly crazed by thirst and had picked a hole in the lead water pipe with a hairpin and cut off the water supply in the house. When a plumber was called to discover the leakage, he found the girl lying under the house, pale and weak from lack of sufficient food. The girl's disappearance is due to her arrest on a charge of disorderly conduct, which it is said was followed by a whipping, and fear of further punishment caused the girl to flee. The mother and father were grieving over the missing daughter, thinking she had killed herself. with mouth and stomach filled with grass. It is thought the poisonous herbs killed him. The managers of the Hanover Fair have secured a novel attraction for this year, no less a personage than Mrs. Carrie Nation, perhaps the most widely known woman in America today. She will be at the fair on Wednesday and Thursday, September 9th and 10th, and deliver 2 of her celebrated lectures, most likely Why I Smashed and The Lion's Mouth. She has been drawing larger crowds this year than ever before, and at every place she had spoken, the interest has been intense. Here's an interesting story about Honest Abe, called Lincoln and The Whetstone. When Abraham Lincoln was canvassing for the Illinois legislature, he visited a farmer, and as he talked to the farmer, he borrowed the farmer's whetstone to sharpen his knife. "Yes, I remember you," says Lincoln. "You used to live on the Danville Road. I recollect that we stood talking out on the backyard gate while I sharpened my jackknife." "Yes," said the farmer, "you did. But I say, where did you put that whetstone? After you left, we couldn't find it, and we looked everywhere." "Did you happen to take it with you?" "No," said Lincoln. "No, I put it on top of the gatepost, that highest gatepost." "Well," exclaimed the visitor, "maybe you did. Couldn't nobody else have put it way up there? None of us ever thought of looking there before." Well, sure enough, when the farmer made his way home and he looked upon that post, there was the whetstone, laying there just as Lincoln had put it there 15 years before. Asbestos towels are among the curiosities of the day. When dirty, it is only necessary to throw them into a red-hot fire.